Hello and welcome to the latest installment of the Guns and Gear review series. Today I finally decided to do a review on my Airsoft Tavor-21. This is my custom tar, so it's going to perform differently than a stock tar, but when it comes to the shooting test and the gameplay, my gun will perform different. I have used this gun in a couple of matches already so far. It doesn't feed well on full auto, so I mostly go semi with it. This is how I choose to run it most of the time, with a stubby vert grip and a micro T1. I also use just a regular birdcage flash hider that I took from my SCAR with a 14mm positive to negative adapter. I always run lipos with all of my guns, so this is the lipo that I got with this purchase, already converted the Deans, and the gun is Deans itself. I got this gun second-handed from somebody on Facebook, on a trading group, for only 150 bucks. It included a high torque motor, some Z-Shot components in the hop-up area, and a programmable Mosfet, a Gate Nano SSR. It didn't come with the rail kit. I put that on there myself, 60 bucks from e-bike, very pricey, but obviously well worth it because you can put stuff on this bottom rail. It came with a little side rail, but I needed the nuts to actually mount the system itself, so I couldn't use the side rail. But originally it has this, in my opinion, fairly cheap plastic handguard. It just felt so flimsy to me when it was on the weapon itself that I just had to upgrade it. And before I even bought this gun, I really liked the idea of this gun with the Matacor Arms rail kit and integrated suppressor thing. Maybe I'll put a picture on screen, but that's what inspired me to get this gun and to put the Airsoft rail kit on it. If I could put the real steel kit on there with the suppressor, I would, but that would be like 200 bucks. It'd probably be really front heavy too, I would guess. Okay, so the Airsoft Tar is very lightweight, very versatile, very good looking bullpup system. Actually forgot to take the mag out of the bag. So I mostly run these lightweight made caps in the gun. They don't rattle. They feed really well in this gun. Pretty much all of my magazines feed. Don't have any issues with the mags themselves. But originally this gun had an M4 type air nozzle, which was the incorrect air nozzle for this gun. It takes I think it's proprietary, but it's like an air nozzle that's just smooth. There's no barriers on it, and so I switched out the metal one for a plastic one that I modified to work in the gun, and I got it to feed really well. But full auto, it will not feed correctly. So it's a full polymer body. The only metal parts would be this upper part here, the flip front sight, the new rail kit, of course, the whole outer barrel, the triggered selector switch, top rail. I think the rear sight. The rear folding sight is metal. This thing, which is like some kind of weird, awkward sling point, I never figured out how to use it. And the rest of the model components would be like this, the pins, that, you know, more pins. This, I think this is a QD sling mount. I'm not exactly sure. Pin. And then on this side, you got brass that's made of polymer, and then the bolt is made of aluminum. So mostly polymer. I prefer it because the polymer just looks really good on the Aries. The texture is really aggressive, really nice looking. Just looks overall fantastic. Probably close to what the real one's made out of. So this is a really good looking bullpup. I'm gonna go over features and controls really quick. So it features a 14mm positive thread on the barrel, which means you will need an adapter in order to fit your common negative threaded attachments. Here in the front we have a look at the Angry Gun rail kit. Very nice. You can move the side rail to any point in here, like so any of these points, but there is some stuff behind it on the Aries that will get in the way of your rail and stuff like that. But the bottom rail goes on there really easily. Choose the vertical grip, of course, because it just feels comfortable to hold a gun like this, I feel. You can see painted in white paint the trademarks. Looks really nice. So up here in the top area, real quick, we got our folding front sight. The front sight kind of reminds me of an M16. It adjusts the same way, so you need like the adjustment tool, but it flips up and down pretty easily, and it works all right. Right here you have your charging handle. You can switch it to the other side, so you could take off this Picatinny rail and switch it to the other side. So very versatile. You could pretty much switch everything to the other side of the weapon. I don't know about this though on the Airsoft one, but the real one you could switch so the shells can eject out this side and charging handle on that side, rail on that side. Even the selector switch, you could switch to the other side. But your charging handle works alright. It's made of polymer, and what that does is it opens the bolt and you can gain access to your standard wheel-based hop-up unit. And then down here is the bolt release. On the Aries, it has the Aries is supposed to have like a pre-cocking system, and mine just never did it. I don't know why. I think once the previous owner went inside of it and changed some things, like the motor and the Mosfet, the pre-cocking thing probably just went away, or who knows. But this is supposed to release the tension on the spring so the pre-cock doesn't ruin your spring. Alright, back to the front. We have a integrated sling point, which I just choose to run my FPS tags on. I cut the last one off. Probably cut this one off too, because just this green thing throws off the black uniform look of the gun. Alright, so this is the pistol grip area. I like how it has this this guard in the front. I don't really know what to call it. Just call it guard for now. Reminds me of a FAMAS or something like that. I use it to pick up the weapon, so it's sitting on its butt, like upright. Since there's no really way of grabbing it, there's certain ways I handle this weapon. Like I'll hold it from here when I pick it up, or I'll pick it up from here. But overall, the polymer build on this gun, if it's like pretty much one piece, the whole thing is just one piece. I think it's just, you know, seamed together. So very sturdy platform overall. Very tough too, because you know it's polymer. It's not cheap shit. So this is your pistol grip area, texturized with some diamond texturing. Overall, the gun is completely texturized because of the natural texturing of the polymer though. On the bottom, it looks like you can remove this screw and take out this little compartment, because of course the motor is not in the pistol grip, it's in the back. So you could probably put some stuff in there. So here's the selector switch. This is one of my biggest gripes with the gun, is the selector switch itself. So that's semi, but here is, wait, semi, that's safe, and then this is semi. Real quick, this is safe, see the trigger won't budge at all. But the annoying part about this gun is the selector switch positioning. So like I'm holding the gun, my thumb is supposed to rest here on semi, so I can either hold it up here or just hold it lower down, which is uncomfortable. And it'll actually start to cramp up my hand sometimes. So it just, I don't like the positioning of the selector switch. I kind of wish they would shorten that or something, because it just doesn't have any good space for my finger. So then we have full auto, and this one doesn't get in the way as much. It's actually pretty good. So really easy throw on this, clicks into place. This can move accidentally if you got like big gloves and stuff. It's actually happened to me. If it moves in between fire modes, the gun will just simply not shoot. So you're not going to have any issues, like say the Jelly S will have big issues if it's in between. It does have an Aries micro switch, so take a listen. I don't know if you heard that, but a little clicking noise. That click is the micro switch. So here's the trigger, made of aluminum. It's a really long trigger pull, I must say. But you could probably hold it, like if you pull it to here, it clicks right here. But really long trigger pull overall. I really wish there was a way to shorten it somehow. I think that's even a gripe with the real gun, the long trigger pull. I really like how there's these like exhaust holes on the side of the gun to let the real gun's barrel cool down, and then you can see your spring in there for the charging handle. I wanted to note something about the charging handle and the rod and the spring and all that. I'm pretty sure the previous owner failed to put in some part in here that's supposed to keep this in place. So the spring wasn't long enough. So I put a heat sink, because it was the exact right size for this metal rod. So a heat sink fit perfectly, and then some electrical tape so the spring would make up that space there. And it works perfectly now, like you can see. But before, the charger kind of wouldn't return all the way. It'd be like here, and it just really irked me. So I had to fix that. Okay, so this is the top of the weapon. As you can see, I got my Micro T1 replica, my Avengers red dot. Quick detach, pretty good thing, pretty good sight. I don't even use it anymore now. I just kind of track my rounds instead of using my sights. But it has a really short Picatinny rail on top. Just take a look at it. That is electrical tape because my T1 is not very steady. I gotta do it to all my guns. But yeah, that's the top of the gun. Let's take a look at the iron sights. So the iron sights are pretty small. You can see it right here. It's a pretty small, and I wouldn't go as far as to say they're hard to use, but they don't work that great. Like, I can't see me wearing my full face mask and all that and helmet and looking through those tiny little sights. I don't even think it's possible, considering if my cheek is here, there's no way I'll be able to look through this with a face mask on. I don't really know what this is. This has always confused me with the TAR platform. It's just so weird. I'm pretty sure this is some kind of sling mount in a way, but this thing here, like, who the fuck knows what that thing is? Alright, so there's this screw here, purely cosmetic. You know, it would be kind of cool if this was like a hop-up or something. It'd be the easiest hop-up in the world, but it's just pretty much cosmetic stuff based on the real gun. Okay, now the back of the gun is where this thing really just shines. Just look how cool this thing looks. So futuristic and neat. Just a cool looking thing overall. So here's your mag well. Can't really see inside of it, but let's grab a magazine. And pretty much all my mags fit. I don't have any problems with feeding through the mags or magazine compatibility. It seems to work really well. I heard some people complain that the position of the magazine release can be pushed by your hand, but I've never had that issue before, so I don't know what they're talking about. So really easy, just grab it, one finger, press that down, and out comes your mag. This gun is licensed. I don't know who licensed it. I guess it's just Ares, but they have the IWI trademark, Tavor, so it's really weapons industry. Yep, well, it says it right there, of course. Tavor-21, and then the actual caliber, 5.56. And then only the Ares has this shiny serial number, but I don't believe it's unique, because no way did Ares make 2 million of these things. That's a lot for an airsoft company to make. Like I mentioned, you know what this does, the bolt release. It's made of polymer, of course. And then I believe this is a QD mount. I don't have any QD sling mounts or anything like that, so wouldn't be able to test it or nothing. Here's the other side of the weapon. Pretty basic. You got a big brass deflector on the side, and let's take a look at the hop up and stuff. So there's your hop up, your cylinder, your gearbox. It all works pretty well. Okay, so where does the battery go, you may ask? You want to push out this pin here. I do feel this pin isn't the tightest fit. I have worried about it coming out, but it's really long, so I don't think it'll fall out or nothing. So before we open it, this is the rubberized butt pad, and it is kind of comfortable. I know that there is a real steel replacement butt pad that kind of curves like this, so I don't know, it's like 70 bucks because it's real steel, but to be honest, I've thought about getting it. So it just folds down like this. I would actually prefer it to come off completely, but it doesn't. And here are your insides. So there's the motor. Can't see what it is though. I don't think it's anything flashy, like brand name or anything. So here is the Mosfet. This is the Gate Nano SSR Mosfet. And of course, you know, Dean, you got the extra wire because it connects to the motor itself. And this is a good thing because the Ares micro switches, I've heard they burn out and stuff. This will definitely prolong the life of my trigger contacts probably, actually I think the point of Mosfets is so that you never ruin your trigger contacts, which is a big issue for me and my other guns. So this gun is really easy to take, well, no, actually this is one of the hardest guns to take apart actually. Ares made life a little easier by giving it a quick change spring system, so you can actually change your springs right through here, and I've actually done that. I actually failed to mention the upgrades I've done myself to the gun, so I'll just mention that towards the end. This is your battery compartment, and I feel it is kind of small, not nearly as small as like a VXC Scar. That's got like the worst battery compartment ever, but it just slides in there. You can see how far it goes, enough space, and I managed to fit the Mosfet and all these wires and the battery itself can fit in here with a little bit of room. So the Ares Tavor-21 Tavor, definitely a favorite of mine. Very, very nice looking gun. Like if I wanted to pull out a gun to impress somebody with looks purely, it would be this thing, because that rail kit and the bulb up design of the Tavor are just truly a beautiful thing. Like it's just a good looking rifle. I really support bullpups. I really like them. I just bought a bullpup, and there'll be a video on that soon. Upgrades and differences between this and the stock. I've switched out the spring, bought a new O-ring, which is not a big deal, of course, and I've also put in a Madbull tight bore black python barrel, which does take up the entire length of the barrel. The barrel didn't work well in any of my other guns. This is the only gun that truly just, that barrel felt at home in this gun, and it shoots the furthest out of any of the guns I got. And there was a few gameplay days with this gun being featured in it. The reveal video will shed a little more light if I missed anything in this review. So stay tuned. I want to make more reviews. I got a few guns that still need a review to be made, but we'll see about those coming out. But this has been the Tavor-21. Stay tuned.
Can't see the dick out of these things.